Hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday and the first day of October. I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. It's beautiful weather out there today. It's going to last for the next little while, but we will get some changes, some meaningful changes coming up for us this weekend. Until then, though, we're mostly on the dry and warm side. Right now, beautiful view from Lookout Mountain. Just a few fair weather clouds overhead. Just a few of those kind of fair weather cumulus clouds. And otherwise, we're quiet. We're in the upper 70s in the 9 News backyard, already a few degrees above our average high for the first day of October, which is 72 for us here in Denver. Very pleasant weather out there. And again, it's going to stick around through Friday. And then our next cold front arrives this weekend, really on Saturday. We'll see that front come through. And that'll turn things more unsettled and cooler for us for this weekend and next week. Temperatures right now, though, certainly not on the cool side, at least for this time of year. 60s in the mountains. 70s and 80s, eastern plains, and a few more degrees to go before we reach our highs around 80 for us in Denver and most of the eastern plains. Radar's quiet right now. It's going to stay that way for the rest of today and tonight. We drop back into the low 50s for us here in Denver. Pretty seasonally cool for us. And tomorrow, 84 degrees for us in Denver. So even warmer with those highs, getting closer to about 15 degrees above average across eastern Colorado. So a very warm day coming up. Again, keep in mind, it's October the 2nd. Sort of a fun fact, it was exactly 133 years ago today, on October the 1st of 1892, that Denver recorded its latest 90-degree temperature on record. So when we're talking about 84 for tomorrow, for October the 2nd, that is way above average for this time of year. Tomorrow, another dry, warm day ahead for us here across Colorado. Barely, if any, clouds in the skies overhead. Highs will, underneath all that sunshine, spike into the 80s. And maybe even some low 90s on the southeast plains, a lot of 60s and 70s in the mountains. Everything you're looking at here about 10 to 15 degrees above average for the beginning of October. It's all thanks to that ridge of high pressure that does start to move away by Friday and especially Saturday. That'll drop those temperatures. Now the question is how far south that area of low pressure moves. You might notice that L spinning across Wyoming and Montana. How far south that system spins, that'll be the determination for what sorts of impacts we're looking at here to our weather in Colorado for this weekend. The further south it goes, the greater the impacts, the more rain, the more mountain snow, and the cooler those temperatures will be. But right now, it looks like the majority of that system is going to stay to our north, which would mean some cooler weather, some showers around, and some high elevation snow above 10,000 feet. But for the most part, those impacts can be fairly limited. We're going to get more side-swiped by that system rather than the kind of full hit we got 8 days ago from that storm system last Tuesday. Temperatures in the 80s through Friday. Then Saturday and Sunday we cool down more to mid to upper 60s for us and some low 60s for next Tuesday. So if you want some of that true fall-like weather, you don't have long to wait. Next week certainly turning on the cooler side. However, what we do not have is a looming freeze. Our average first freeze is next Tuesday, which is October the 7th. And worth noting that it looks like this year we're going to have a notably later than average first freeze. My colleague meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen will have more on that later today on the 9 News family of networks. Otherwise, we are 17 days away from our average first measurable snow here in Denver. My lean is that we're going to be a little bit on the late side on that as well. Final thing I want to leave you with, Broncos fans going to Philadelphia. Broncos going to Philly on Sunday out there in the city of brotherly love. It'll be in the low 80s at kickoff and at halftime out there in Philly for that game. So top line takeaways, warm and dry through Friday. This weekend, we get some cooler and wetter weather back in the picture. Again, just how far south that low tracks. Still some questions around that, but right now it looks like Sunday with the highest potential for some showers for us this weekend. But overall, just certainly cooler and more unsettled look to things for this weekend and next week. My colleague, Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin, will have more for you coming up at 9 News at 3, 4, 5, 9, and 10. And I'll have more for you coming up on 9 News and next coming up at 6 p.m. as well.